Testing. All right. Well, all right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Gavin Prashad coming live from Andrew McCandless. Today we have the Grand Championships here involving Apollo Red and Cambridge Jaguars. This is a CPSCL Grand Final in the Platinum Division. And Cambridge Jaguars lost the toss and they were put into bat. So Apollo has, they're warming up here. We're coming live from Andrew McCandless. And we have this episode being sponsored by Satish Edana Homes. And that's owned by Satish Prasad. And as we're awaiting the first ball to start, we have Charagoon at the non-striker's end and Richard Latif, who's facing there. And we have the umpire there intervening here, Wazim. The scorers are being checked on if they're ready. And the first ball comes here to Latif, and that's a defensive shot onto the offside, picked up by Bobby Bodram. Alright, slight pause, some field resetting. We have Dasrat in the keeper. And that's a good delivery. Cutting down on the offside, outside the offside. And that's 2 deliveries without score. Turning out to be a decent over so far. We have Jitendra Bihari, and that's his third delivery there. 3-dot ball so far. Very early in the game. No pressure at all. We have a few of the guys huddling there. Dasrat, Farouk, and alright, around the wicket. Comes into Latif, and that's a 4 defensive stroke there, and he's off the mark. Picked up at arch ball. And we now have Charagoon on strike, the great Charagoon, coming out the Borbies, representing West Indies in the past. And he prepares for Jeet, crouched down in his batting stance. And that is a beautiful shot. And that's a beautiful 6 right over mid-wicket. Beautifully pulled, the ball popped up. Jit seemed to pull some nerves there early. As we know, names do make a difference in this game. After 4 good deliveries, the 5th ball went for 6. So the score moves on to 7 for no wicket in the first over, and that's a good delivery for defense, and that's the end of the first over. So we have 7 without loss. Not a bad over. Good start. It's 3:25 p.m. here in Andrew McCandless in Brampton. It's a chill day. The temperature is about 19 degrees. 3:25 p.m. here in Brampton. Chill day, 19 degrees. And beautiful crowd has come to see the grand final. Earlier, there was the silver division between Amazon Sports, and here comes Shiraz, and that's chipped, clipped down to the fine leg, and that's gonna be two. That's actually a four. So that's a beautiful shot down to fine leg there, clipped off the legs, and Richard is up, well already off the mark, but he's got a nice four, so he's five. Only the second over, and Shiraz comes around the wicket. Decent run up. And that's a full pitch, pulled away for six. And that's another beautiful six pulled to mid wicket there. Bad delivery, a full pitch. Shiraz seemed to be a little bit nervous there to these big batsmen. All right, comes again around the wicket. And that's another beautiful shot. Another one over mid wicket. Beautiful shot. A huge six.
Call in all the divas.
That's the third six for the inning so far in just the second over.
Presentation of the diva game. And Patrick, we're calling you here as well.
And a bee just went into my beer there and almost destroyed my commentary. And
Free hit.
and that was a wide. And we have Shiraz coming around again around the wicket to Richard Latif, and that was a fake, and that went on the offside there, and that's a dot delivery. I believe this is the last delivery of the over. And that's a beautiful shot. Too long off. Caught in the boundary there by Mr. Prashad. That's the second Prashad. He's not my relative by any chance. And this is a very productive over here for Cambridge Jaguars. It's already the third six in the over. Beautiful shot by Latif. Just forward beautifully. And that's a forward defensive shot. Very, very beautiful defense shot there. And that's the end of the over. So that was a very, very productive over for Cambridge Jaguars. That was three sixes, and
we have Farah, Fadila, Fasiha, Jessica, Janet, Trisha, Darsh, Emily, Stephanie, Shazila, Nalini, Lana, Reshma. And on the blue team, we're calling Geeta, Rafia, Chandini, Shivani, Katrina, Sandy, Savita.
we have a change in the bowling now.
Kamisa, Alisa.
We have
Angelina,
Alvin.
Rihanna, Ariana.
Just to remind you, this is the Wrong Hand League,
SCL Boo.
CPSCL, grand final. And that's chipped off the leg, down to square leg. Nicely picked up there by
I'm also calling Patrick and Abid.
the fielder there. And Charugun got a single there. And Alvin comes around the wicket. And that's beautifully pulled down to square leg there for four. Ball runs into the boundary there. Latif getting down on the knees and pulling that ball square of the wicket. That's already 5 off of 2. I'll get the score so far. 18 and 7, 7 in the first over, 18 in the second, and 5 already. And that's up in the air there, and beautifully taken on the mid wicket boundary. And Latif got a top edge there off a full pitch, and unfortunately he perished in the shot. Seemed to have been too early into the shot or a premeditated stroke, but a beautiful, beautiful small partnership developed there. Only the third over, and a very important wicket of Latif has fallen as he head back into the pavilion. Very disappointed not to capitalize and move on. Nevertheless, we now have the youngster. Yeah, very unfortunate there for Latif. And we have the youngster out of Scarborough there. He, I believe his name is Chad. I will double check that. And Latif is being replaced by Carl Karan. The score is 35 for 1 after 2.3. This is a 20 over game. So Carl is brought in very early. Crouching stance as Alvin comes in. Christopher Karan, a correction there. It's not Carl. Christopher, first delivery. 4 runs down to the long off boundary. The ball popped into the bat, and Carl played a lovely stroke there down to long off. Nice way to get off of the mark. And here we have Salman Khan in the house. The great Salman Khan from... oh, that was a good delivery there. The ball almost touched the off stump. The ball runs down to the third man boundary there, and almost a run out. Almost a mix up there. Christopher making his grounds. And that was 2 runs down there. Not a bad start by the Cambridge Jaguars. That will make 37 off 2.4. This is a 20 over match. Like I said, it's the grand finale between Apollo Red and Cambridge Jaguars. And that's a beautiful shot. And that ball will run down to the boundary for 4 runs. Through to the point boundary. The outfield is quite fast despite the rainy, the chill season. We have nice greenery on the ground. Not a total control by Christopher there, but nevertheless, the ball run down to the point boundary. That completes the third over. The score is now 45 for 1 after 3. So according to Grandma, that is their RPO there is 15 runs per over, which is excellent in a final. Now we are having another change in the bowling here. Apollo's strategy is a bit different. No repetition of any bowler, despite the first bowler bowling a solid over. They have rotated their bowlers and are having them. The fourth bowler is being introduced. Arch. And we have the start of the fourth over. Chattergoon pushes, and that's a rapid single there. Plug from Alvin, but Chattergoon made his ground easily in the end. Aggressive cricket being played. You can feel the passion. And that was almost a full pitch, but Christopher chose to just push it to the point. And Balkaran comes over the wicket and beats Christopher there. Almost a slog sweep. Did not connect. Good over so far. The third delivery. This is the fourth delivery. Beautiful bowling. The ball beats the off stump. Picked up by the keeper there. And that's a beautiful shot. And that's 4 runs straight back behind the bowler. Beats the arch ball there, who was hustling over to his right onto the long on boundary for 4. And that's a beautiful shot by the youngster under the pressure, and the beautiful crowd has gathered here today. Approximately 200 people, 2 to 300 people are here to witness the finals. And around the wicket again, and a premeditated shot, and that is Boldham. That clipped the leg bails, and that was a premeditated shot that did not work out for the youngster. Uncalled for at this time, I would say. Nevertheless, another wicket has fallen, the second wicket. Christopher has been replaced by Imran, number 50. Imran is heading out there. Him and fellow teammate Charagun. So the second wicket has fallen in the fourth over. However, the scoring rate is quite high. The RPO is still around 13 runs per over. I'll have the total in a bit. And that's the end of the fourth over, start of the fifth. We're still in the fielding restriction. The score is 50 for 2 after 4. We have 6 overs fielding restrictions with the power play. And that's a beautiful shot. And that's well fielded there on the mid-wicket boundary, more the cow corner. And Charagun has turned over the strike with a single there. And Imran's first ball, left-hander, facing Alvin, number 31. And that's forward defensive, beautiful forward defensive stroke there by Imran. Imran Ali, the realtor. It's a quiet over so far. 1 run. And that's a wide, a little bit out the wide line on the offside. Alvin back on his second over. And that's another forward defensive shot there by Imran Ali. Picked up by Dasi. Another defensive shot there. Imran playing in its eyesight, getting a touch of the game. The run rate is quite up to par, above par I will say. No need to play anything special. And that's down the leg. But because it's a wrong hand softball, that wouldn't be a wide, because only in the hard ball we'll get wides down the leg side, anything down the leg. Turning out to be a good over for Apollo Red. And that's a good shot. That beats Dasi there. And Archibald stopped that ball there on the long on boundary. Nicely picked up. It's now the end of 5 of the 5th over, and it's 53 for 2. So 10.3 runs and over there. That's a good start by the Cambridge Jaguars. This is looking, if they continue at this rate, we're looking at a 200 score, which would be a very competitive score on this wicket. And Balkaran is back for his second over. And Imran Ali will be facing Charagun has actually been very quiet. He's been off the strike for quite a bit. Of the 5 overs, he only faced a few deliveries. But I'm hoping Chats will deliver today. I have him to make a 50. All right, a few changes in the field. Alvin is coming in shorter. And that's punched down to long off. Picked up by Farouk. Backed up by Archball. Just a single. Imran getting a good feel for the ball. Nice shot. And Balkaran is changing his bowling. It's coming over the wicket. We have Chargun crunching there. A very low batting style. And the anticipation is and that's a punch down again to long on. Another single, turn over the strike, picked up by Farouk and backed up by Archball. Second delivery of the over, and this is the 6th over being bowled. And that ball just went down to the point, picked up by point. They scampered for a single there. Turned out to be a good over so far. Dealing in singles. That was the third delivery. Balkaran doing a good job there for Apollo Red. Ball to Charagun. And that's a long hop that was missed by Charagun. So far we have 56 for 2 in the 6th. The 6th hasn't been completed. I think there's one more delivery to go. Turned out to be a good over so far. We had a change in the field there. Fine leg moved in, a short fine leg. And this will be the final over for fielding restrictions. Comes in over the wicket and bowled to Charagun down the leg. Beats him. And that was the penultimate delivery. We still have another delivery to go. Slight change in the field. Balkaran comes over the wicket and that's a good delivery. Almost clipped the leg stump of Charagun. That was lucky. Charagun had a stroke of luck there. Did not make contact with the ball. And that's the end. That's the end of the over, the 6th over. And the score is now The score is now 56 for 2 after 6. And Shiraz will now continue around the wicket on the 7th over. We will have a break at the 10th over. And Imran is facing. It's a very cloudy day here today. The clouds are coming in. Hopefully we don't get showers to disturb play around the wicket. And that's off the edge. Down to point. Short point. Fielded by Wazim. The temperature is dropping here at the Andrew McCandless ground. And Shiraz comes around the wicket, both the shots. And that's beautifully pulled down to the square leg boundary, and that will be 4 runs. Beats the diving fielder. That's now 6-1 for 2. The score takes over, 6-1 for 2. Shot played a beautiful shot there down the square leg. Beats the diving Wazim, and the ball went into the boundary there. We have Bobby adding over to Shiraz to give him some directions there. And Chats is finally getting some strike at the wicket. A beautiful shot down to the leg side boundary, the square leg boundary there of Shiraz. Shiraz changes, is coming over the wicket now. And that's pulled down. Pulled down to long on. Picked up by the fielder there, Farouk. Underhands that in back to Shiraz. And 62 for 2 in the 7th. We have Imran now on strike. Slight change in the field. Bobby moves wrong to square leg. Keeper making a few changes. Mid wicket moves wrong a little bit from cow corner. And Shiraz number 18 comes into Ali. And that almost took the bowler's head off. Straight back. Caught off by Farouk again. Good feeling on Farouk's. Despite his chubbiness, he was able to cut that off. Very active. Very active despite the extra BMI there. And the score takes over to 63 for 2 in the 7th over. Shiraz comes over the wicket again to Charagun, who's crouched there. And that's a good delivery off his leg, off his boot, down to fine leg, cut off at fine leg. Another single added to the score there. Imran pull that one down to square leg. That will be picked up by the square leg. Cut off there, just a single. Bobby Bodram, number 5. And that's the end of the 7th. The score now moves on to the score is now 63 for 2, 65 for 2, sorry, correction there, 65 for 2 after 7 overs. 65 for 2 after 7. Not a bad score. 67, 65. 7-8, 56, 7-9, 63. So the score is 9 point something there after 7 overs. And Balkaran will continue around the wicket to the left-hander Imran. And that was a missed delivery. That was a missed opportunity there by Imran. The ball was bouncing, but it dived down at the last moment. This is the 8th over. Balkaran comes around the wicket to the left-hander. And that's a good delivery. Flick to the fine leg. Well, square leg, sorry. And just a single there picked up by Bobby. Six. Yeah, the score is 66 for 2. We have a beautiful crowd gathered here today to witness the final between the two Titans, Cambridge Jaguars and Apollo Red. And Chargun is down on his leg. The ball deflected off his body down to fine leg. He was lucky there not to lose his leg stump. And the score ticks over to 67 for 2. We have the Divas here at the ground. The Divas here in the white. That game concluded a while ago. And Balkaran around the wicket to Imran. And that Imran is bold. The ball popped at the last moment and then came off the edge of the bat. And Imran perished there. Wasn't able to get going. Disappointment there on the left-hander who is known for his hard hitting of the softball. And Imran is replaced by number 25 Anil Ramotar. As just to recall, it was Anil Ramotar who played a crucial role in the defeat when Cambridge Jaguars defeated Tri-City Ravens in the previous match in the semi-finals for Cambridge to qualify for the finals. And he now comes to the crease at the very a very vital part of the game. The third wicket has fallen in the 8th over.
We represent the CIBC Run for the Cure and the Canadian Cancer Society's joint efforts. So please come on down. We have chips, sunglasses, earbuds, and lollipops. It's a great time over here, so please come visit the pink tent. Thank you.
A few indecisions in the feeling here. Jeet was being moved. They decided against that. We have Anil and Chattergoon out in the middle there. Balkaran is coming over the wicket now to the replacement for Imran Ali. And he pushed that ball. Just a simple push there. And there was no run. Balkaran again around. And Ramatar was quite Ramatar wanted to punch that ball down the ground but didn't make connection. The score moves on to 67 for 3 and that concludes the 8th over. We're moving into the 9th. We'll have a break at the 10th over. 67 for 3. Not a bad score at this time. Charagun is on strike. We have Shiraz to continue. I think this will be his 4th over. They're bowling out Shiraz. He comes over the wicket to the crouching Charagun. And that is punched down the ground, but that is Archibald has taken a catch. And Charagun has thrown away his wicket there. Unfortunately, he didn't make enough connection. The ball went very high up in the air and Archibald settled. And unfortunately, Charagun perished. All right, we're back here. We're live. This program is sponsored by Edana Homes, subsidiary um, that's owned by Satishwar Prasad. And we have now Riaz out in the middle there, replacing Charagun. Riaz Kadir. We know Riaz is a well-known hard hitter of the softball and the hardball. And a lot depends on is on his shoulder. It's a very crucial moment in the game. 67 for 4 in the ninth over. Shiraz over the wicket to Riaz. And that's punched down the ground. Nicely punched down to long on. Just for a single. Comes off the mark. Yeah. The ninth over, we have Anil Ramotar. And that's down the leg. Didn't make connection.
Just take your time there, boy. It's very calm.
Anil being patient, waiting for the bad ball.
Boy.
And
That's it.
beats the outside edge. The ball beat the outside edge. On the offside, picked up by the keeper. Passed on to Dasi there, the well-known Dasi. And Shiraz continues over the wicket to Ramatar. And that's chipped away down to the mid-wicket boundary, but cut off on the mid-wicket there by the fielder there. Just a single. Brings Riaz back in on strike.
Come on, Riaz.
Encouragement being offered there to Riaz from the captain. And that's a nice stroke down to the covers there. Picked up by Jeets. That concludes the ninth over. It's the score ticks over to 70 for 4 after 9. Riaz is back on strike. Anil Ramotar at the non-striker end. And Balkaran will be bowling out his fourth over. The score moves on to 70 for 4. 10th over, the 10th over is bowling. And that will be Balkaran to continue his fourth. So we will be seeing new bowlers in the second half of the game. We'll have a break at the 10th over. And Balkaran to Riaz. And that beats Riaz outside the off. Riaz looking to play that through the covers, but didn't make contact. Repeating his shot, trying to gain some muscle memory there for the future. Balkaran comes in again over the off, and that's well forwarded by Riaz. Showing a lot of caution, playing a very mature game now. A lot rest on his shoulder. Balkaran comes again, and that beats Riaz. Well stopped by the keeper. Riaz getting a little bit frustrated there, not getting not getting singles, not getting any bad balls. Creating a little break there. Resettle his nerves, I would say. Balkaran comes in, and that's a good delivery again. Punch through the covers, down to cover, cut off by Cheats. Hustling there, well picked up, and return to the bowler. Just for a single. The second single for the over so far. The ball is being checked by Riaz. Make sure it's intact. Balkaran to Anil Ramatar. And Ramatar punches that down the ground and well cut off by Archball. And beautiful throw right over the stump. Excellent stuff here by the young Archball who hails out of Guyana. Contracted by Apollo Red. A very good piece of feeling there. A very excellent feeling. That was presumed to be a boundary, but snatched up. The score ticks over to 72 for 4 in the 10th. And Riaz punched that down to the square leg boundary, picked up by Shiraz. The score ticks over, and that's the end of the 10th. So that's the halfway point of the game. 10 over has been bowled. The score is 73. The score is 73 for 4 after 10. So after the run rate, the RPO moving from 15 to 9.3 to 7.3 after 10. So Apollo has made significant. They have been able to restrict the Jaguars. They pulled back that run rate to almost 50% from its peak of 15. And we'll take a short break, and we will return in a little bit. Riaz and Anil are still to come. I will take a brief intermission, and we'll be back live. We're back. We're back here live at Andrew McCandless. The break is over. The short break is over. And the boys are back out in the middle there. We left off at 73 for 4 after 10. Apollo Red, the bowling team. Jeets will continue. Apollo will think that they're in a good position at this time with Cambridge Jaguars at 73 for 4 after 10. Riaz will be taking strike with Anil Ramotar, two well-known both hard hitters of the softball. There were a few changes this year in the type of ball being used. We've moved up from a smaller, softer yellow ball to the larger white ball. This ball hits harder and overall it plays different.
Just remember, guys, the last call for the 10. Please do check.
I just want to say hello to Zena, who is the wife of the owner of this team, Cambridge Jaguars. She's in the crowd here. We also have Paul from Calypso Hut. Just a big up to Paul, Mr. Paul. And of course, Cambridge Jaguar has depth in their batting. They have one of the deepest batting in the league, I will say, if not the best. We have the hard-hitting Scotty, Raul Scott, who in previous games did his magic to propel his team to victory so that they can be present here today in the final, the grand finals. We also have on site the manager of Cambridge Jaguars. He just arrived, and we have the owner of the team, of the league, Mr. Patrick, on site, making his way over to the Jaguars tent. A lot is going on here now. A little break. Jeet's taking his time. Coming around the wicket to Riaz, and Riaz was beaten outside the off stump. Looking into the pitch as though a portal opened and the ball disappeared out of vision, but he was comprehensively beaten there by Jeets. The topography of this ground, there is a curvature at the top of this pitch with the ball going downwards, and Riaz comes forward. The ball is picked up by Alvin without no score. Second delivery. That's 10.2. The score remains on 73 for 4. And Jeets again. Riaz got an edge down to the fine leg, but cut off by the fielder there. 10.3. Alright, punched on the ground there. Too long off. Picked up by Archibald. The first run of that over, turning out to be a brilliant over. One of the psychological phenomenons, we know that in the 11th over, it can be the commentator's curse. Sometimes it's just part of life. Wickets have been known to fall in the 11th over. And Anil Ramotar playing a very wild shot there, uncalled for, according to his mother, who sits right beside me, just to have some patience. Oh, nice shot down to fine leg there, but that will be cut off by Wazim there, with a beautiful throwback to the keeper. Well picked up. Wazim is notorious for his ability to cover large amounts of grounds. And score moves on to 75 for 4 after the 11th. Only 2 runs coming from that over. Another good over there for Apollo Red. Jeet, a well-known wrong arm bowler.
Watch the field and watch the ball. If you can't say yes, say no.
And our Archball has been introduced
Come on.
into the bowling in the 12th over,
Field.
and he beats Anil there, an edge to the keeper.
They should check that ball.
Ball being checked by Darcy there.
Ball in. So nice.
Archball come around the wicket,
Come on, Anil.
outside the leg, and that's brilliantly, beautifully pulled down the leg side boundary there between square, backward of square for 4. Beautiful shot by Anil Ramatar. After a drought of runs from the 9th over and the 10th over and the 11th over, he breaks the spell and gets a 4.
Watch the field.
Archball again into Ramatar, and Ramatar misses that. Tried to
Wide.
get,
It's a wide ball. That's a wide.
and that was signal a wide by the umpire. Archball to Ramatar, and Ramatar pulls down the square leg there. Wazim there picks that up. Just a single. A better over for the Cambridge Jaguars, who accelerated in the beginning, but eventually the runs dried up along the way.
Come on, guys.
And another wide outside the half stump there by Archball. Riaz being very cautious not to play at that.
Come on, Riaz.
A dead ball signal there. Archball rushing the batsman who was not ready. Archball to Riaz. And Riaz beaten by that delivery there.
Oh boy.
Archball spinning that delivery across the off stump,
Connect, boy.
more to the wide line. Archball again around and clipped down to the square leg boundary. Another single picked up by Wazim. So nice ticking of the runs now on the 12th over. And a beautiful shot.
Shot. Have a ball.
6 runs.
Have a ball.
Pulled beautifully over the mid-wicket boundary by Ramatar. And Ramatar capitalized on that bad delivery by Archball. And that would have been a 6 and a 4 off that over, plus a few singles. That is considered a very productive over there for the Jaguars, who were struggling in the middle there in the last 3 overs. And that will bring some relief to the Cambridge Jaguars fans and to the score. And the DJ has introduced some beautiful Caribbean music there. He's looking for a Dulahin.
Good one, Nazir. Good one. All right.
Well, Shiraz is now for his 4th over. This is over number 13. I'll get the score in a second there. Riyadh will be facing.
Come on, Riaz.
The score moves on to 89 for 4. For start of the 13.1. And Riyadh pulls that down to long on, but wasn't able to beat the fielder there. Archball being an impenetrable wall there thus far. Ramatar takes strike,
Like that thing is.
and Shiraz is coming
Okay.
over the wicket.
Come on, Neil. Just
a brief pause, checking his feel.
Watch your feet.
Ramatar on strike, and
Oh, the ball. Check your ball.
good delivery there by Shiraz.
Check the ball.
The ball is being checked to make sure there are no defects. Shiraz comes in to Anil Ramatar.
Just watch your feet, baby.
An early premeditated shot down to point for four. And that was a well premeditated shot. The bowler unable to deceive the batsman. And the batsman playing a beautiful reverse sweep down to the point boundary there for four. The score is now 94 for four after 13.4. And a good rebuilding here in the middle by the middle order batsman, Shiraz. And dropped by the bowler there. Adil playing with hard hands there, trying to punch that behind the bowler, but the bowler was reacting there sharply, reflexes, but he wasn't able to hold on to that. Comes again,
You could do it, man.
and an early premeditation, but a missed.
Don't do that. It's too
Ramatar
Don't do it.
very early into that shot. His mom does not agree with that at any cost. Beaten, almost lost his bails,
Yeah.
but live to see another day. So
Do that.
the final ball for the over. Bobby is being moved more
Don't do
to
that
the
again.
a bit wider than the cover into the sweeper position. And Shiraz into Ramatar. And Ramatar punches that cut off. Well cut off by Shiraz. And that's the end of the 13th. The score moves on to 94 for 4 after 13. We have 7 overs to go. Kimmer Jaguars will want to start the acceleration. The overs are drying up. Just 7 overs to go. A competitive score, in my opinion, here will be in the 170s, 180s. Lots of batting to come. Roll Scott. We have we also have Vijay Prashad. And that is a beautiful shot by Riaz. Pulled on to the opposite side of the ground. Straight over mid wicket. Bad ball by Archball. The ball popped up, and Riaz capitalized on a bad delivery. At these times, you have to capitalize on these bad deliveries. There weren't very many. Archball seems to be taking the blunt of the hits. And he'll be coming over the wicket to continue. And that's going to be a wide. The bowler trying to stay wide of Riaz. Showing some fear of the power hitting of Riaz Kadir. And Riaz plays a beautiful shot through the covers, and that disappeared over the boundary line there. Archball being hammered. Unable to adapt to the conditions. The score is now 105 for 4 after 13.2. So there has been an uptick in the score. Good rebuilding, good patience shown by the middle order batsmen. Archball switching around the wicket again.
Take your time. Watch your feet.
Comes into Riaz, and that's another beautiful shot for 6. Straight into the cow corner. The ball disappeared into the boundary there. And a beautiful crowd to cheer on here We have some dancers in the boundary celebrating for Cambridge Jaguars. That's 110 for 4 in the 14th over. Archibald being punished by the hard-hitting Riaz Kadir, unable to control the flow of runs. Come around the wicket, and that's a better delivery, well forwarded, picked up by Alvin. Archibald comes in again. And another beautiful shot, another six. Another six into the mid-wicket boundary. Riaz Kadir picking up the steam here at the Andrew McCandless ground after being placed in a very peculiar position. A very tough place to come in at number 4. The wickets were falling. Has steadied the ship and has accelerated against Archibald. And nicely turned over for a single there to the mid-wicket boundary again. Smart batting there by Riaz Kadir. Not only looking for the boundaries, but also turning over the score. And that's the end of the 14th. The score takes over to 118 for 4 after 14. 114 for 4 after 14. So the score has ticked up nicely. Jeets will be continuing. Anil and Riaz pulling Cambridge Jaguars out of a tough position from 73 for 4 and 10 to now 114 for 4 in the 14th. We'll now continue with the 15th over. Jeets are wrong, and Riaz went down and got bowled with a premeditated stroke, and Jeets has bowled him again. In the previous game, in the semi-finals, Riaz played this exact stroke and was dismissed. And a slight bit of a break in his concentration there, getting a little bit too ambitious, and has thrown away his wicket on the very I'm struggling for words there. After batting and resurrecting the Jaguars, Riaz has thrown away his wicket with a reverse sweep. Jeets cleaning him up, bowled. The score moves on, remains to 114 for 5 in the 15th over. And Riaz is being replaced by the mighty Royal Scott. Scott has shown his ability to win games, previously powering the Jaguars to the finals. So this is the 15th over. After this over, 5 over remains. Royal Scott taking his guard. And Jit, a well-known bowler around the wicket, and Scott with an edge there to the point. A lot depends on Scott, as I spoke with him earlier today. And Archibald has moved from in front of the camera. We now have and Scotty playing a very mature game here. Just punching the ball, knowing that Jeets is a well-renowned renowned bowler. Playing him out. There'll be lots of bowling. And that's clipped off his legs down to the cow corner. And picked up by Shiraz. Flick up the wrist back to Jeets. Anil back on strike. He has been off the strike for the last few overs. Riaz was able to capitalize. He attacked Archibald, pushing the score on. approximately 40 runs. Jit to Anil.
Time, baby. Watch it feel.
And he has bowled him. He has bowled him. Anil unable to defend his leg stump and bowled behind his back. The Jaguars are now in deep trouble. Having lost two hard hitters, the two stabilizers of the innings, Anil and Riaz Kadir in the same over off of Jits. And that will be disappointment on Anil there. Kyle will replace Anil. The score has remained in the 114, 115. Anil missed the chip off the leg stump and cleaned up by Jeets. Jeets having a very productive over here. Already cleaned up two of the hard hitters. The two guys who stabilized the innings are now gone. Two new batsmen are out. Kyle facing his first ball against Jeets. And that was a full pitch, but pulled down to mid wicket there. That concludes the 15th over. We now have 5 overs more to go. Scotty and Kyle out in the middle there. Kyle will be taking 117. The score is, I believe, 116, 120 for 6 after 15. Two big wickets fell in that over. The Jaguars are not going to be happy with that outcome. The formidable Jeets striking at the opportune time. And Alvin will be continuing to Kyle around the wicket. And that's a beautiful shot, but unable to score. We say the ball was bombed. Bounced before. Picked up by the fielder. Alvin comes around the wicket again. And Kyle is playing a smart shot through the covers. Picked up by Bobby. A lot hangs on the strong shoulder of Rawls Scott. Rawls Scott in previous games was able to propel the Jaguars to victory. Score with strike rates above 200. Alvin around the wicket. And Scott playing a very smart, almost run out. A punch. Jits looking very active in the field there after taking 2 wickets in the previous over. And Jit mistimed that ball. Scott injured in the middle there, but still representing his team despite a broken finger and an injured right leg. Was able to get a single there. Jits dropping that catch late into his movement. Fell over. Start of the 16th. And almost bowled him, but that ball ricochets off his foot. 4-4. Down to the third man boundary. And that's a very welcome boundary for the Jaguars at this time. The runs have not been easy to score. Very excellent bowling by the Apollo Red. They were able to make a brilliant switch with Archpal being replaced by Jits and now Alvin Turning out to still be a decent over for Apollo Red. And a single, a stolen single there. Picked up by Archball at long on. An excellent over there, I will say, at this point in the game by Alvin. It seems as though Apollo Red will have to bowl out their best bowler early in the innings, leaving room for the Jaguars to capitalize. But they will be looking to clean up the Jaguars so that their weaker bowlers can be hidden. We have Kyle and Scott out in the middle. A beautiful day here at the Andrew McCandless Park. The 16th over was completed. The score has moved on to 127 for 6. They will be introducing Kanda into the bowling attack. $129 for 6 with 4 overs remaining. Kanda will continue around the wicket. Few changes. Jits is now on the long on boundary. Archball on the long off. Very tense moment here. Kanda comes around the wicket, and that's a full pitch. Kyle forwards that down to the long off boundary, picked up by Jits. Their score is 128 for 6. Not 129 like I previously mentioned, 128 for 6. This is the 17th over being bowled. Kanda comes in around. And Scott punches that. And it's cut off by Jeets. Sliding save there. Well picked up. Just a single. 129 for 6. Kanda producing just 2 singles from his first 2 deliveries. Coming on at a very pivotal moment in the game. At this point in time. Crunch time we call this. The finishing overs. Showing a lot of grit. A lot of guts to introduce himself at this time. But just 2 runs from the 2 deliver. So Kyle will face Kanda on this 3rd delivery. And Kyle pushes that down to long off, long on. Cut off again. Archball picks that up. And Kanda 17.3. And beaten Scott. Scott comprehensively beaten. Did not make contact. Ball went to the keeper. The score is 130 for 6. And Scott is lucky to not be caught there. Dassi could not make the ground. The ball went over his head and picked up by Bobby. But Scott is very lucky there in the finals. 131 for 6. It's 17.4. Kanda producing a beautiful 17 over here.
Come on, guys. Come on.
And that will be a wide. Signaled by the umpire. Outside the off stump. 17.4 over being bowled.
Come on, guys. Come on.
Of 20. Kanda.
Come on, guys.
And Kyle pulled that down to the square leg boundary. But the Jaguars unable to get boundaries here. 131 for 6 after 17. So 3 overs remaining. Apollo pulling the brakes on the Jaguars, who were off to a rapid start but unable to capitalize and maintain the momentum. Being restricted to 131 for 6 with only 3 overs remaining in a beautiful day here down at the McCandles Park in the heart of Brampton. With the grand final between Cambridge Jaguars and Apollo Red. Alvin will continue on his final over. Alvin comes around with Kyle at the striking end. Scott at the non-striker. Alvin comes around to Kyle, and that's a full pitch. Kyle unable to put that away to the boundary, picked up by Cow Corner. A strong throw by Shiraz, backed up by Darcy. Brings Raul Scott onto strike. It's all up on Scotty's shoulder now. Kyle unable to get the ball away. And Scott beaten. A long slug. However, good ball in there by Alvin. Making good use of the pitch. The pitch is indeed a bit softer today. The sprinklers were turned on. A lot of green out there. Oh, and a beautiful delivery. Shot in. Almost cleaned up Scotty. By the grace of higher powers, Scotty was saved. 131 for 6 in the 18th over. And Scotty missed that delivery again. It was a no ball by the umpire. And that will be a free hit. That's some blessings to the Jaguars there. Scotty being deceived by Alvin with some beautiful bowling around the wicket. Beautiful wrong arm bowling. Just to clarify, this is a wrong arm league. CPSCL grand finale. Alvin comes in and Scotty unable to disperse that ball to the boundary. Down to square leg. Off the edge of the bat. Scotty showing a sense of frustration. Known to be a hard hitter. But very good bowling from Apollo Red. Alvin almost completing his over. And that's a full pitch that beats Kyle. And that was a missed free hit. Could not have asked for a better delivery. Kyle unable to make contact. Alvin comes in again. And Kyle punches that down to long on. Fielded by Shiraz. And that's the end of the 18th over. With just 2 overs remaining. The Jaguars are seeming short at 135. Only 135 of 18. 135 for 6 after the 18th over. And Jeet still with another over to go. Jeet has been the pick of the chosen one today, the pick of the bowlers. Cleaning up both Riaz and Anil Ramotar in the same over. And playing a big role in restricting the Jaguars to 135. Sorry, I stand corrected. That is 137. And Kyle punches that down again to long on, but a lot more is needed than the singles. Scotty has 11 deliveries to go. Bajit showing his skill at bowling the softball. One of the best bowlers, according to the consensus, comes around and bowls to Scotty. And Scotty is lucky that he wasn't bowled there. Ten deliveries to go. The score is stuck 137. 137 for 6. But 10 deliveries to go. Jits come around the wicket to Scotty. And Scotty got an edge. And unable to secure a run there, even though the ball ricocheted and ended up at the third man. They did not take the single. Scotty retaining the strike. A very good over, penultimate over here by Jeets. And Scotty comes off his leg. Chipped down to the short fine leg, picked up. Just a single. Jeets bowling an excellent over in the death over. With just 1 over to go after this penultimate over. The Jaguars are stuck in the 130s. Unable to. And Kyle unable to make contact. Smart bowling by Jit. I believe this will be the final delivery for this over. Kyle on strike. Jit's around the wicket. And that's beautifully put away for 6. The first mistake by Jits there. A full pitch on leg stump. And that disappeared in the square leg boundary for 6. A badly needed boundary there for the Jaguars. And that should put the score to the 143 or 144. I will confirm that in a bit. Well earned runs with just 1 over to go. One far to 2. No. I believe the score is 144. I will confirm that. Yeah, so stand corrected there. The score is 145 for 6. And the penultimate over was completed there by Jits. What was a good over? The last ball was a 6. Pulled away by Kyle. The last over, now 6 deliveries to go by Kanda. Kanda chose to bowl the final over, replacing Archibald, who was not successful in curbing the run flow. It all sits now on Raul Scott. My predictions are a few 6s for this over. And Scott was unable to make contact there. And that was a dot delivery. First delivery was a dot. Score is stuck on 144. The Jaguars fallen short, in my opinion, but still, this game is open. The Jaguars still having 5 deliveries to go.
Cambridge Jaguars 145 for 6, 19.1 over.
Kanda comes over the wicket with Scotty, and this one is disappears over long on. That was a full pitch, and Scotty does not miss out on those deliveries. Anything like those. 151, 151 for 6. 151 for 6 with a beautiful power hit. The sound of a rocket came off the bat, and Ross Scott made that one disappeared over long on. Kanda with the store delivery. And Scotty made that delivery disappear again over long on. And the crowd is going wild here. Zena is on top of the crowd. Scotty, in my prediction, like I said, I predicted 3 boundaries, 3 6s in this over from Scotty. Kanda does not understand that Scotty is one of prolific hitter, hard hitter. The score moves to 157 for 6 with 3 deliveries remaining, and Scotty was able to punched that down, but it came off the wicket on the opposing end. Cut off by Darcy.
157, right?
Another dot ball. 157 for 6
Scotty tapping his
with
back.
three deliveries to go. Two deliveries to go. And that one is caught, and Scotty is caught at long on. Archibald puts an end to him, and Kanda had the last say, but Scotty was able to push the run rate a little bit higher.
157.
The score ticked over to 157 for 7 with just one delivery, I believe, one or two delivery left in the innings. Scotty did the damage at the end. Kyle and his father, Kyle's father, said it. The new batsman replacing Scotty with just Moniram.
Son at the crease.
Moniram comes to the wicket. Him and his son Kyle. Just one delivery to go.
Money Ram on the
And
strike.
Kanda to complete his the final over, the 20th over.
Moving the square leg, bit closer to the umpire.
And Wasim was brought in from the boundary.
Boundary. One of the cover boundary. Long off, long on. Call corner.
And Kanda comes over the wicket to Money.
Come on, number 4.
The over 157 for
So
8
Cambridge Jaguars
after
in the
20.
close, I think it's 157.
So we'll return after the break.
157.
We'll come back
Close
live
the innings.
to continue the innings.
Apollo
Apollo 158 for.
On behalf of CPSCL, I'd like to thank all the fans.
All right,
spectators
signing
who came out
off at
today
this moment. We will be back
to
in a
support
short
your
moment.
league, support your team.
We're live here. The game continues and Apollo Red is back. The force delivery was already bowled. We weren't able to broadcast that, and Rafael Buru was hit for a six by Bobby. Bobby over the mid-wicket boundary. That was a well-hit six to open the innings. Rafael comes around the wicket, and Bobby is beaten. Picked up by the keeper, Chargun in the keeping. We have Ramatar at point. And Bobby punched that down to Richard at long off. It seems as though that one slipped out from Rafael there on the force delivery. We have Farouk taking guard. Leg stump guard. Himself and Bobby. Rafael Budu opening the bowling for the Jaguars. 3 deliveries so far. 3 deliveries, 7 runs. And Rafael around the wicket to Farouk. And Farouk hits that for 6. Straight over long on. Bad bowling by Rafael Budu. Not being able to skillfully direct his ball. The ball popped up at the last moment, and Farouk did not hesitate to dispatch that to the boundary, the long on boundary for 6. In just 4 deliveries, the score is now 13. Let me remind you that the Jaguars were off to a flying start at 15 runs per over in the first 5 overs. And then they slowly, that RPO decreased. Their total was 158 in their allotted 20 overs. And Rafael smartly moving over to the over the wicket after being hit for 2 sixes already in just 4 deliveries, and comes over the wicket now to Farouk. Chargun is up to the stumps, and Farouk dispatches that with a reverse sweep to the point boundary. Farouk's stamping his chest like a gorilla, showing his dominance. Rafael dispatched for 16, 17, 18 runs already in just 5 balls. The final delivery for the opening over. It's been a very big over for the Apollo Red. And another 4 down to fine leg. Farouk dispatched Rafael Bodo for that, I believe, is 22 runs from the first over. Bobby and Farouk out there for the Apollo Red. Farouk in his 89, number 89. And we have a change in the bowling now. Teddy, number 167. Teddy getting warm. And Teddy will come around the wicket to Bobby. Teddy runs in around the wicket. And Bobby dispatches that for another 6. Over the mid-wicket. 1 full pitch. Full pitch delivery to Bobby, who did not hesitate to dispatch that over the mid-wicket boundary for 6 runs. And it's raining 6s down at the Andrew McCandles. Ground. A ground that is not known to be supportive of the batsmen, usually a bowler's paradise. But the Jaguars not being disciplined in their bowlers, and they're being dispatched. 2 6s in the first over, another in the second over. Teddy changing, coming over the wicket to Bobby. Runs in around over the wicket. And Bobby slices that to short. Third man. Teddy lucky to get away with a full pitch. The Jaguars just need to steady their nerves. Teddy runs in over the wicket, and that's a better delivery. Beats Bobby outside the half stump, picked up by the keeper Charagoon. And Teddy runs in over the wicket, and that's a better delivery. Teddy has found his line. Bobby unable to score. Teddy picks that up. Just the 1-6 from the over thus far. Teddy runs in over the wicket to Bobby. And Bobby pulls that, but cut off by Imran Ali there. Within the circle. My friend just pulled in here. Moni Lal just walked into the ground. And Teddy runs in over the wicket, and Bobby is punching that, but well fielded by Kyle, by Muniram there within the circle. In a short cover position there. .27, the score is 27 for no wicket after 2. There's a change in the bowling. Imran Ali will continue. The captain is busy out in the middle there. Charagoon, Hemnarain Charagoon, having a discussion with this bowler. Number 50. Well, Imran will continue to Farouk, the right-hander who seems to be in form. The Apollo Reds are off to a flying start. 14-2-28, that's a 14 RPO. Imran Ali, and that's a beautiful delivery forwarded by Farouk. Imran seems to be right on target from ball 1. Imran is known to be a prolific bowler. And that's punched away down to the boundary, but cut off by Kyle at the point boundary there. Imran lucky to get away with a full pitch. Farouk unable to capitalize on that. 28 for no loss in the third over. Just 2 deliveries, the third delivery. And well fielded by Moniram there. Good hustle by Moniram there within the circle. We're in the fielding restriction, the 4-6 overs. And again, Moniram. Imran Ali. Just 1 run off the over thus far from 4 deliveries. And Bobby edges that down to Ramatar, down at short third man, unable to score. 5 deliveries thus far for 1 run. Excellent bowling from Imran Ali, the realtor. One of the best all-rounders in Ontario in the wrong arm league. Comes in around the wicket, over the wicket, and that's well defended by Bobby, showing respect to a very good over, an excellent over by Imran Ali. Just 1 run from that over. Imran demonstrating his ability to bowl under pressure, showing the opening bowlers discipline. The score is 28 for no loss after 3. That is 9.33 runs per over. 9.33 runs after 3 overs. 9.28 runs without loss after 3. And we're about to start the 4th over. And Teddy will come over the wicket to Farouk. And down the leg, that will be a wide. The start of the 4th over. No delivery. A wide down the leg side by Teddy. Teddy pulling up his shirt, exposing his biceps and triceps as he takes guard and runs in over the wicket. And Farouk is unable to score. Punches that to short cover. Cut off. Well hustled by Moniram. Moniram has been the pick of the fielder thus far, showing his athleticism. Teddy comes in again. To Farouk over the wicket. And Farouk dispatches that down to the square leg boundary for 6. What a terrible delivery by Teddy, seeing the batsman was down on his leg early in that shot and not being able to deceive the batsman. Farouk dispatched that for 6. The score moves on to 34 without loss.
Score move on to 35.
135.
Into magnificent 6.
One-
Square leg.
35.
4 deliveries. 2 more remaining. 4 more remaining.
4 deliveries remaining. The announcer unsure what is going on. Teddy bowler wide on the 4th delivery. 2 others, including 1-6, comes in over the wicket to Farouk. And Farouk premeditated again, but that ricocheted off his leg and to the keeper for no run. Farouk previously played for the Young Warriors.
Teddy's bowling from over the wicket. To the captain for Roken. Bowling from over the wicket. Running.
Teddy comes in over the wicket to Farouk. Farouk is early down. And that is 6 runs. Farouk with a reverse sweep dispatches Teddy for 6.
Score move on to 41.
Score is 41 for no loss. But only in the 4th over. Teddy unable to create problems for the right-hander Farouk, the captain of Apollo Red. On a cloudy day here at the Andrew McCandles, Teddy comes in from the Cambridge Jaguars, ball to Apollo Red, and another 4.
It's another
This
4 by Farouk.
batch
Good bowling swept there.
by Farouk down to the square leg boundary for 4.
Score move on to 45. Without the loss of any wicket.
Very poor bowling there by Teddy, anticipating the shots of Farouk. He would be better off in pitching the ball as a one hop
Teddy taking a long
into
run.
Farouk, who I believe would not be able to play that shot. But he comes in again, and that's
When no
pull
signal,
again
nobody out,
with
no
no
runs.
square leg. No change in the field.
Score races on to 49 without loss.
49 without loss. Their fielding restrictions are in place. A square leg was badly needed, but Farouk capitalized with the fielding restrictions, and that's the end of Teddy's over. Another productive over for the Apollo Red. Just a reminder that this is the finals, CPSCL Platinum Finals at Andrew McCandles between Apollo Red and the Cambridge Jaguars. Jaguars batted first, and they made 157 in their allotted 20 overs. And Imran Ali comes in to Bobby, and that's signal a wide.
That's a wide signal by umpire Nilon.
So Apollo Red is now 50 for no loss in the fifth over.
2 fingers on the trophy already. Cambridge look a little bit, the shoulder drop in the field.
And Bobby forwards.
By Bobby. Bobby looked very determined here today.
And
To beat his
Imran Ali looks
was part of Cambridge Jaguars.
very well settled with his bowling. Attacking Bobby comes over the wicket. And Bobby Pearley digs that one out of the middle wicket. Imran Ali showing great promise here. If he strikes, he should be able to pull back the Apollo. And another wide. 2 wides thus far in the over. Imran Ali having a good over thus far, just the 2 wides. And Bobby very defensive, he comes in to Bobby, and Bobby is unable.
Welcome back here by Imran.
Bobby is unable
With
to
balls.
score. Just the 2 wides from the over thus far. Very excellent bowling by Imran Ali. Showing his tenacity. But that's a beautiful shot by Bobby. Through the covers for 4.
Another 4 there, 2 extra cover.
Even though
Score move on to 40 to 55.
the score is now 55 without loss in the 5th over.
Bobby tapping his bat away.
Imran to Bobby.
Bobby
And that's punched down the ground, picked up by Riaz.
a single. Score move on to 56.
Score is 56 without loss. Imran has 1 delivery to go, I believe. Apollo chasing 157, 158 for victory. Richard Latif was brought into the circle, and Farouk punched that to the point region, picked up by Vijay Prashad.
4 runs in this over.
Excellent over there. It was 6 runs. 6 runs from that over. 2 wides, including a 4. In the context of the game, that is an excellent over. And a slight break in the innings here. Muniram was even introduced into the bowling. 5 overs, completed 6 over restriction in this 20 over game. In the first 6 over, only 2 fielders can be outside of the 30-yard circle. So the final over before that is completed. And Muniram will be taking the ball, guided by his captain Chatgun, Imran Chatgun. The temperature is very chill here in Brampton, Ontario, Canada. And we have Muniram around the wicket to Bobby. Temperature is approximately 19 degrees with a slight wind coming across my shoulder. So
Score is 56 without loss.
the score is 56. This is the start of the 6th over. And Muniram,
Ball by McQueen.
good delivery, good stop. Muniram showing his athleticism for a mid-age man. Comes again. And pulled him! And a beautiful delivery that penetrated the defense of Bobby. And Bobby was beaten, comprehensively beaten and bowled. The leg stump clip by Muniram. Introduced a little bit late into the innings, but there's a lot of game left in this innings. 157 still on the board here by Cambridge Jaguars. And Apollo loses their first wicket for 56 for 1 in the sixth over. Bobby was comprehensively bowled by Moniram. Jits has now taken his replaced Bobby after bowling exceptionally well. He is now here to bat at number 3. A great day of cricket here. Lots of people, lots of fans. A chill day here at the Andrew McCandless Park. We're coming to you live from Brampton. The commentary is sponsored, the live is sponsored by Edana Homes, Satishwar Prasad. Kind compliments of Satishwar Prasad, owner of the Cambridge Jaguars. A change in the field. Prasad moves into point. And Moniram continues. And that ricochets off his leg and runs into the boundary for 4 runs. 4 leg buys.
Leg by signal by umpire was zip.
A very advisable moment in the game is that a buys is always needed in such a final. One of the high scoring areas of any game. Based on the statistical analysis that I've completed thus far, I've seen one of the highest scoring rate in the buys. However, there is no buys. The field is unchanged. Just 2 fielders out of the circle in the 6th over. Moniram around the wicket to Jeets. And Jeets tried to...
Another chance of a run out here.
And a little bit of a complication there in the middle.
Decline.
Farouk almost run out.
Good over so far by Muniram.
Excellent hustle by Moniram. Cuts off a single. Creating trouble for the left-handed Jeets. Comes in around the wicket to Jit. And a long hop, which is signal a wide outside of the off. To wide outside of the off. Moniram comes again to Jit. Jit looking to attack and pulled away for 4.
By Bihari. Straight into the cow corner.
Simple shot. Waited for that.
65.
The score is now 65 for 1 on the 6th over. And another good stop by the keeper there, Charagun. A difficult delivery there by the bowler. Lucky to get off. Completes the 6th over, and this fielding restrictions have been completed. The field will be spreaded now. Richard Hanif will be introduced into the bowling. Richard Hanif should have been introduced into the bowling earlier, in my opinion. Moniram completed a mix over, bowling Bobby on the first delivery with a reverse, clipping his leg stump. Apollo still in the lead at this time in the context of the game, chasing 157 in 20 overs. The 6th over, 14 overs to go. Richard Hanif on a chill day with his hoodie over his head. Over the wicket to Farouk. And a full pitch. Pulled away to the fine leg boundary for 4. A full pitch. It seems the Jaguars are unable to control their bowling, showing indiscipline in the bowling. Very terrible delivery there to start his spell. Richard Hanif knows that he is much more capable than that. Comes again and a better delivery, but swept away again. But caught up by Kyle at the fine leg boundary.
Score moves on to
What the Jaguars are failing to realize is that
70 for the loss of 1 wicket.
Farouk is sweeping the delivery, which should have a point and a square leg
Over number 7.
and a backward square leg, in my opinion, or a third man and a square leg for him
Over
to control the flow of runs.
by Richard Latif.
Latif will bowl to Jits,
Wicket to the left-handed G.
and that's caught up
By the fielder.
by Kyle's brother,
Run out, let's see. No.
and well caught off there. Good throw.
Apollo.
Plug at the stump by
This stage of the game.
Hanif
You're well in
to run out Jits, but well picked up by the keeper. Cut off, just a single there. That was a beautiful shot, but cut off. Boundary cut off, only a single. Hanif chipped away for 6.
Fair over square leg for 6.
Hanif bowls and Jit dispatches that for 6 at the square leg boundary. And the Jaguars are under severe stress at this time. They've already conceded 12 runs from the over. Richard bowls too, and his
Volley by Latif.
Cheats is beaten outside the off stump. And another pull down to the mid wicket boundary there.
Another single there by Bihari. 77 at the conclusion of over number 7. 7.
7 over.
Perfection.
7 over completed. Richard Hanif not performing to his expectation, having a few words at the boundary. Pulled away for a 6 and a 4 in that over. Apollo Red showing their resistance, their tenacity, and Muniram will continue to Jits. And a long hop outside the off stump, and that signal a wide, picked up by the keeper. Muniram not bowling to his expectations. And that's a better delivery from Muniram. Move down the leg, but not a wide. The softball game allows for the ball to be on the legs side without penalty, unlike the hardball game where anything down the leg is a wide. Muniram comes into cheat, and that's forward. A defensive stroke picked up by Teddy. Muniram comes in and Chit sweeping, drop by the keeper, a misfield, runs away for 4. 4, that's not drop, that's a leg by, but a misfield by the keeper for 4 runs. That should have been cut off. That's a bad piece of fielding there by Ibn Rai Chatagun. Half of his match fee will be deducted there for that piece of fielding. That was just a joke. And Muniram comes into Jeets around the wicket, and that's a good forward defensive shot. Muniram has established his line and in a better position at this time. She's looking very patient, waiting for the bad ball. Muniram comes in, and an early reverse sweep, runs down, cut off by Charagun comes off the back of the bat. Just a single. Eight over in progress. A slight change in the field. Backward square leg. Money, which is an excellent change that I recommended earlier in the game. Money Ram sensing my intuition and comes over around and faster delivery. Deceives Farouk, who was premeditating that shot with a reverse sweep. That concludes the eighth over.
To 83.
The score is 83 for 1.
Over number 8.
So just 2 overs to the break. And for Cambridge to have a huddle.
Richard Latif come back onto the bowling.
Latif is
Number 9.
brought back in after the previous over, going for 13 runs.
The Gold Cup. Congratulations to Apex Predator. Apex Predator defeated Hamilton Steelers. Congratulations, Apex Predator. Their first title in CPSCL.
Richard come back to Jeet. And that's caught. That's caught by Teddy with a very poor delivery outside the off. Jits unable to capitalize on that. Got caught. And Richard scores his first wicket. A huddle in the middle there. The captain not looking very happy out in the middle there. A lot of body language out there. A lot of emotions. The second wicket falls for Apollo Red. Archibald comes out to the middle now. Archibald, the renowned Guyanese softball player, contracted by the Apollo Red. The game is now, I'll say, equally poised after a flyer start by the Apollo Red. The game is slowly trickling down. Jaguars are starting to find their core, their discipline. They're digging deep. Farouk has been lodged at the non-strikers end for a significant time. And Richard with a bluff there. Dropped the ball. Pointing his finger to Archibald.
Karen Archibald,
Sizing him up.
left-handed.
A lot of emotions. And a reverse sweep. And that's caught. First delivery. First delivery. First delivery. Reverse sweep straight into the mid wicket region, and he's gone. A terrible shot. A terrible shot. Archibald Kyle took a beautiful catch in the mid wicket region there, and that's the end of Archibald. First ball duck.
Official left-handed. Try to hit it on the right side.
I stand corrected. Kyle's brother Chris took a beautiful catch in the mid wicket region, and that's the end of Archibald. And the bluff by Richard Hanif has paid dividends. He has already gotten 2 wickets in this over, and this brings two quick wickets thus far. And the Cambridge Jaguars are slowly finding their ground. Hanif comes in, and a wild swing of the bat there, but no connection. And that's a dot ball. Richard again to the new batsman. The batsman showing some respect after 2 wickets falling in this over. It was a bad ball, but Kanda showing some maturity there, not being in a rush.
Come on, Richard.
Pushed away for a single there and picked up by Teddy.
Kandasamy pushed that to mid wicket.
This is the ninth over. Farouk left on and on strikers end for quite a while,
84.
getting a little bit cold.
3 wickets down.
And now the smart thing to do is what I recommended earlier. Teddy in the backward square. And Richard Hanif. And a terrible piece of feeling there, but luckily it wasn't a four. Cut off by Kyle's brother there, Christopher, on the mid wicket. It's a very end of a very productive over. The ninth over, Richard Hanif, the prolific player out of Guyana, contracted by the Cambridge Jaguars, making the breakthrough for the Jaguars and pulling things back into perspective from a Cambridge point of view. After a rapid start, but as the saying goes, fancy gallop does not win races. Apollo has been slowly being restricted by the Jaguars. And Farouk will take strike now. Moniram will continue. Moniram has shown promise. He has picked up a better line as he has bowled a few overs, picked up his line and length. He'll bowl to Farouk. We have now they've installed a backward square leg, and Farouk unable to score now that they've implemented that change in the field. Backward square leg was already onto that sweep, unable to score. Already the point at the boundary. Moniram comes around the wicket, and that's a terrible delivery, a wide. That will be a no ball, which will be a free hit. In the finals, all no balls are free hits. And a good delivery for a free hit. Farouk unable to score, even though a long hop. Long hops are very difficult to get rid of. This is the 10th over being bowled. The Jaguars are pulling things back slowly. Moniram around the wicket. To Farouk. Farouk unable to score again. Having played against Farouk, knowing his strong points. Backward square leg point, and then he is unable to score. Prediction that long off or long on will scoop him up once the bowler remains disciplined. Moniram comes around the wicket, and a beautiful delivery. Good shot, cut off by Kyle in the short cover region there. Excellent bowling by Moniram, showing his ability to deal in tough situations. And another reverse sweep, but with the changes in the field, that's cut off by point, long point. And Kanga is on strike now to face Moniram. I believe it's the final delivery for the over. The 10th over. We'll have a short break after this and we'll resume live from Andrew McCandless. A very clouded day. A lot of cirrus clouds, a lot of cirrocumulus clouds. No rain in the forecast. A few changes in the field. Moniram wanting a backward square. Mid wicket. No cow corner. Riaz on the long on boundary.
3, we are in over number
Christopher being pushed into the cow corner. Muniram comes into Kanga. And a beautiful, and that is dropped! What a terrible mistake by the bowler. Drop Kanga on the final delivery of the 10th over. Will he pay the price? Will that be a turning point in the game? We will find out when we come back live in the second half of the innings.